All right, welcome back to the video. This is perfect timing because this is the greatest video on the internet about creatine. Maybe not the greatest, but it's pretty damn good, and I'm gonna make it as concise as possible. Let me check here. I got 15 different points to hit on creatine, which is literally everything that you need to know when it comes to this crazy supplement. So much misinformation about it. There's a lot of misconceptions, and people are very confused when it comes to creatine. So I'm going to set the record straight in this video. I'm going to keep it as short and concise and brief as I possibly can. I like to ramble, so I'm going to try my best to avoid that. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. So first of all, everyone wants to take creatine, but everyone's confused because of all the misinformation, like I said. So this coming up, what I'm about to go through, is just a Cole's Notes to help you know what you need to know about creatine. Okay? Take away all the fat, strip away all the extra, get away all the fluff, just giving you the actual information of what you need to know. Okay? First of all, or first one, I should say, first one to kick it off with dosage. Take 5 to 10 grams of creatine per day forever. Yeah, you don't need to cycle it. Just take it every day. Take it every day for the rest of your life. More isn't better in this case, and in most cases in life, more isn't always better. And in this case, that's for sure. 5 grams appears to be the best for most people. Based on the research that I've reviewed, it appears that 3 to 5 is going to be that kind of sweet spot. So you could probably do fine off 3. 5 seems to be that sweet spot for most people. The difference between 3 and 5, I don't think really matters when it comes to it. So 5 grams has kind of just been that recommended dose for the longest time, and I think for good reason. So you can just go with 5. There's nothing unsafe about 10 grams, but it's still kind of within that range that if you want to because the whole goal of creatine is to saturate the muscles. So if you want to just make sure of that and you're okay using double the amount of product to make that a sure thing, then you could go ahead and use 10 grams if you want. But I don't use creatine right now because I noticed, for whatever reason, just as an aside, it affected my sleep in a weird way. I still haven't talked to anyone that had that happen, so you don't need to worry about that. I'll probably retest again. I've had some weird gut issues for the last decade of my life, so I'm assuming it has to do with that. So as I continue to heal my gut, I should probably be able to tolerate creatine fine. And it's the closest thing we get to a wonder supplement, a magic pill. So at least a magic powder, depending on how you take it. So I would love to be able to take it again. So anyways, that's number 1. Number 2, take it any time of day. Doesn't matter when you take it because it's not acutely effective. It's all about getting into the tissues and building up over time, which is why in general, on average, most people aren't going to see the effects from it until like 2 or 3 4 weeks of using it consistently every single day. It's not like you're going to take it and be like, oh, I'm wired. There's no like stimulant effect. It's just an amino acid. So you're not going to like take it and then feel it. So take it any time of day, just as like a piece of advice and a tip to how to take it, especially from a powder form, which is the best way to take it. You can mix it into soft foods. So like yogurt, oatmeal, pudding, stuff like protein shakes, or even smoothies, like stuff like that. And I know some people put it into coffee. Don't quote me on this because I'm not sure if the heat denatures it at all. So you'd have to look into that. I don't have enough information to have a take on that. But literally any of your meals that like it can kind of mix into, or smoothies or shakes, like you're probably going to have one of those things. So that's the easiest way to do it. Number 3, if you experience mild gastrointestinal issues, then don't stress. It goes away after a week or 2 and is very typical. This is a very common side effect and you don't need to worry about it, and it's temporary. It appears to be very transient, and in people that experience it, where they get a little bit of like tummy upset and then it goes away with just like continuing to use it. So it appears to be, I don't know the specific science around it, but it appears to be something to do with the change in water balance, because that's one of the major actions of creatine, is the action on hydration in the muscle cells. So that's probably what's happening there, is your body's just adapting. So makes sense. And it's typically mild in most cases, and like I said, it goes away. So nothing to worry about. Number 4, other than dialysis or maybe kidney disease, creatine is healthy for 99% of people to take. This is a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, obviously. So listen to your doctor. This is not a recommendation. This is not medical advice. So you should probably talk to someone who's qualified to do that. But this is my opinion, that probably in most cases, perhaps 99% of people, or at least the vast majority, are perfectly fine to take creatine. So there's nothing to worry about it when it comes to it, unless like dialysis, kidney disease, something along those lines, or some other very rare situation. But for the average healthy person that isn't dealing with something like that, creatine's only going to give you positive benefits on your health. Number 5, this is a myth. There is no causal link between creatine, DHT, and hair loss. A lot of people think this. They take creatine, they're like, I'm losing my hair. No, creatine doesn't do that. So you do not need to worry about that at all. And any effect on DHT is not substantial enough to have any effect on hair loss subsequently. So we can just put that one to bed. It doesn't matter. Don't even waste any time thinking about that. Myth number 6, you don't need to ever cycle creatine. I mentioned this before, and you shouldn't ever cycle it, in my opinion. Just take 5 grams or so every single day for the rest of your life. It's so simple. All these different HCLs and creatine this and creatine that. It's like you just need creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate, the cheapest one on the market, the most effective one on the market. You don't need to cycle it. You don't need to do 3 weeks on, 4 weeks off, 6 weeks on, 6 months off. You don't need any fancy math like this. Take it at this time of the day. Take it post-workout. Take it pre. Doesn't matter. Just take it. Take it any time of day, every day, 5 grams for the rest of your life. That's the recommendation. Okay, number 8. No, sorry, number 7. Number 7, this is another myth. It's not, creatine is not a steroid. It's not a hormone. It's literally just an amino acid. It's mostly found in meat and animal products. So you already get a bunch of it if you eat meat. This is why people who are vegans or vegetarians are actually some of the best candidates to take creatine. And it's also why people who eat a lot of meat sometimes don't actually see much of any change from creatine. Anytime I've taken it in the past, I actually, personally for me, didn't notice much of a change, which I'll get to a non-responder thing in a second as well. But yeah, that's important to understand. It's not a steroid. It's not a hormone. You know, your aunt, your mom that tells you that, you can just tell them that's not true. Total myth, total misconception. It's literally just amino acid that literally everybody is going to consume. And even in veggies and plants, I believe there's still creatine in there. It's just far, far less. It's in the most concentrated amounts are going to be in like animal protein, animal meats, animal muscles. Number 8, creatine is better for the brain gains and ATP production, aka more energy, than the strength and muscle gains, in my opinion. Bit controversial, but a little bit less controversial nowadays, although both are pretty cool. Strength and muscle gains are awesome. Fitness progress and results is pretty awesome, but brain gains, cognition, ATP, and energy production, that's pretty freaking sweet too. And obviously all those overlap. But there's a lot more research coming out on the cognitive benefits of taking creatine, which is freaking awesome. Which is why I recommend a lot of my older clients to take. I tell everybody they should probably take it and see how they feel and see if they notice anything. But any of my clients that are 50 plus, 100% they should be taking creatine. Which leads me into actually number 9 here. There's a lot of research on creatine's effects on cognition and brain health. This makes it 100 times more important for older folks to be taking it than even younger folks, even though it's commonly marketed to young people in their 20s who want to get jacked. It's so common, people think creatine, like, jacked and juicy, big muscles, young teenager dudes that want to bench 3 plates. It's like, creatine's good for that, yeah. But it's weird that I actually think it's far more useful in older populations than younger populations, even though they market it to younger populations. So then most people end up thinking of creatine as a supplement for younger populations, but they have it backwards. Yeah, it should be like a longevity and neuroprotective supplement, in my opinion, which would mean, 50 or 60 plus. If you're 50 or 60 plus, like, you should be taking creatine more than anybody. Number 10, only take creatine monohydrate. Ignore the other versions. They are not better. They are just more expensive. So if you like paying more money for the same or less effect, you can go ahead and do that, but I wouldn't. Most brands accessible in Canada are probably fine as far as like sourcing. It's like a tip that I would give you is look for Creapure, trademarked. It'll be on the bottle. It'll say that's what the source is. So if you look for Creapure, that's a trusted source. I think they're out of Germany or something like that. So if they're sourcing from Creapure, you're probably going to be fine. And a lot of companies do that. You can just Google search that or take a look when you're looking online at any supplements to see where they source from. Number 11, I recommend buying the unflavored version so that you can mix it into any other meal or shake without even noticing. Kind of what I was saying before, where it's like you're going to mix it in other food or protein shake or oatmeal or smoothie or yogurt or whatever it is anyway. So you don't want it to mess with that. So I would just take the unflavored version because it's way more versatile. Number 12, body weight may spike after taking creatine due to an increase in cellular hydration. This is one of its primary functions, basically, like what I was talking about with like its effects on water. It has no significant effect on fat gain or fat loss, except making you look leaner, potentially from the muscles being more full due to being more hydrated. This is an oversimplification, but the point is just don't sweat the slight body weight changes. It's totally normal. It'll go up and then it'll kind of peter out and you'll stabilize. But it just makes sense because the hydration, your body's responding to the acute change in hydration status at a cellular level. And this is healthy, this is normal. So don't let the scale freak you out there. Number 13, creatine has decades of research showing it is one of the safest supplements ever. So due to its high safety profile and well-established benefits, it's a no-brainer for most people to take until they die, in my opinion. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Simple though. Lots of research on that stuff. So it's one of those things where we really don't have to worry about risk in most cases. The vast majority of cases. It's probably one of the safest supplements on the market available at all because of the amount of research and the years of research on it. Number 14, the best candidates for taking creatine are vegans, vegetarians, underweight people, or anyone who doesn't eat much meat. Or anyone who doesn't eat much food, to be honest, because you'll just be malnourished in all amino acids. So if you took creatine, your brain's going to be very happy. And if you're not eating much food, then your brain, along with other major organs, are going to be just generally malnourished. So, and also anybody over 50. So those are all going to be the populations, in my opinion, that are going to get the most out of creatine. Again, 99-ish% of people should probably take it anyway, but those are going to be, if you're in those populations or if you resonate or relate to any of those, even at a smaller level, then you should highly consider taking creatine. And if you are one of those people, if you are vegan, if you are vegetarian, if you are underweight, if you don't eat much meat, if you don't eat much food, or if you're over 50, then I think you're the best candidate to take creatine. 5 grams a day, like literally. Canadian dollars, like 80 to 90 bucks will last you like 3/4 to a year. I'm pretty sure if you take 5 grams a day. So it's very affordable. Number 15, from what I've read, there appears to be a portion of the population who are non-responders, meaning that they just don't get any effect. This is around 30% from what I've seen. This means 3 out of 10 people won't notice a single benefit from taking creatine. My opinion, you should still just take it anyway. The reason I'm not is because I noticed every time some weird sleep thing happening, again, probably related to the weird gut stuff I've been working through over the last decade. As that improves, I will be taking creatine whether I notice a benefit or not, just because of what I know in the research as far as its effects like from a neuroprotective perspective. So even if I don't notice like fitness or strength or muscle or any of that stuff, I don't care. I want to take it for longevity, energy, ATP production, and brain health. So, and it's a cheap insurance policy in my opinion. In conclusion, okay, so in my opinion, creatine is truly a no-brainer for everyone. So if you're wondering if you should take it, ask yourself, if you're a living and breathing human that isn't dead, if so, then yes, you should. Again, disclaimer, I'm just a guy on the internet, so make sure you go talk to your doctor about this. But I do think it's a really good supplement for most people to take. If you liked this video, then check out in the description below. I have a link. It's totally free, but I have a free link to my 4 favorite supplement stacks. So the first stack is my favorite stack when it comes to sleep and getting the best deep REM sleep. And then the second one is my muscle stack for building a lean and muscular physique. Third one is a brain stack to help with like brain fog, thinking clearly, and just like staying sharp. And the fourth one is like an energy stack to help with like hormone production, keep energy high, stuff like that. So all 4 of those you can get in one supplement pack, basically. but they're 4 different stacks. So there's a bunch of supplements in each one, depending on if you want to improve your sleep, your muscle and physique, your brain, or your energy. They all kind of overlap, of course, but you can get all that in one thing. If you just click the link below, totally free. You can get instant access to it. It'll just get sent to your email. Bada bing, bada boom. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you understand creatine a lot better now. It's not that deep, super simple. You should probably take it. You might not. Got to cover my ass here a bit, but you probably should.